Hello everyone, welcome back to FPL STAR. Today I gonna discuss about FPL popular buy sell comparison and ranking based on player performance for Game Week 29. Before starting, if you are new in this channel, please subscribe this channel. Now let's start. At first I gonna talk about Game Week 34 double, and it is announced that in Game Week 34 16 have double Game Week, and these teams are Brighton, Fulham, Liverpool, Manchester City, Man U and West Ham. At first glance I think Man City has got the favorable fixture like Fulham away and West Ham home, so that's two fixture it needs to be targeted, and other team like Liverpool also got nice fixture for Tottenham home and Fulham home to home match, but Fulham on the other hand got two hard fixture Manchester City home and Liverpool away, so I am not considering any Fulham player. And Brighton also looks very nice double game week for Game Week 34 like Wolves home and Manchester United home to home match, and Man U got one home match and one away match. Brighton away is hard, but Aston Villa home is a good fixture, and the last one West Ham has one good fixture and one bad fixture like Manchester City away is a hard fixture, but on the other hand Crystal Palace is good. And my cheap strategy for this blank and double game week, I think I gonna bench boost in Game Week 29 and my free hit will be activated in Game Week 32 or 34. I'm not still decided what I'm gonna do, but it will be either 32 or 34, and I am open on both the game week, so my team is totally in balance, so there might be 32 free hit or 34 free hit. Now move on to our regular option and our popular buy sell comparison, and my first priority for this Game Week 29 buy is Marcus Rashford. He has got some injury concern, but I think he will be fit, and he should be your first target for Game Week 29 because he will be a greatly highly owned player. So if you don't have him, a lot of FPL manager will captain him in Game Week 29 if he is fit. So if you don't have him, it will hurt you. So if you have any transfer you want to make, then this should be Rashford. And second one is Bruno Fernandes. If you look at Bruno Fernandes stat, it's better than Rashford for last few game week. In the last 5 matches he got 0.87 goal minimum ratio, where Rashford has got 0.54, but Rashford has got good expected goal ratio. On the other hand, Fernandes is a very good assist provider, so that's quite similar, but I prefer Rashford because of his goal threat, and also Fernandes is a nice option, but there is a concern that Casemiro is suspended, so Fernandes may play deep. So I don't think that he will play in the holding position, but as a number 10 he might not be as advanced as his regular time, so that's a concerning thing. Now move on to the third and fourth option, and it's McAllister and Marsh. And the third option is McAllister. I prefer McAllister because of his goal minimum ratio is 1.02 and Marsh has 0.78. This is quite similar, but as his goal minimum ratio is higher and McAllister now playing as a number 10, so he has got a lot of chance in front of the goal and he might score. But one thing about McAllister, that in FA Cup Unda plays in the number 10 position and McAllister in the holding position, and if he is playing holding position then he is not a good option, and that's why I think it's not an essential transfer, but it's a good transfer. And also other case of about the Brighton midfield, that after Game Week 29 in Game Week 30 they have Tottenham away, and Game Week 31 they have Chelsea away, two hard fixtures, so that's why they are in the good category but not essential. Now move on to the fifth and sixth one, and fifth one is Mitoma, and I prefer Marsh over Mitoma because if you look at goal ratio for Marsh is 0.78 or for Mitoma 0.52, but if you look at the point for McAllister, Marsh and Mitoma like 27, 26 or 29, quite similar, so you can go either of two, and I think you should go for two for Game Week 29. But after Game Week 29 they have hard fixture like Tottenham away and Chelsea away, and if you are thinking of free hitting in Game Week 34, as like me, then I think you shouldn't go for Brighton as well, because they have blank in game week 32, but they have got double game week. But if I am free hit in game week 34, then it's not a hard thing for me to go for Brighton attacker in game week 34. The 6th option is a Luke Shaw, and I quite like it, because if you look at Luke Shaw's performance, he is in international break against Italy got red carded, so he get fully rest, and their next fixture will be Newcastle away and Brentford home, as Manchester United has a lot of fixture in April, because they are in the English Premier League, also they are in the FA Cup and also in the Europa League. So there are a lot of fixture for Manchester United, and as Luke Shaw got some rest because of his red card, so I think he's a fresh one. He will be fresh one for game week 29, and I think Manchester United has quite a lot of chance to get clean sheet in game week 30 and 31. And if you look at game week 29, Newcastle are not a very good team to scoring goal, and Brentford also struggling to score goal, so there might be clean sheet for Luke Shaw, and that's why I think he's a good transfer. But I prefer him not, because Rashford, Fernandes, McAllister, March and Mitoma are midfield transfer, and Luke Shaw is a defensive transfer, so I think midfielder will give you more point than defender, so he's in the 6th. Now move on to the 7th and 8th one, and it's Eastupinian, and I prefer Luke Shaw over Eastupinian, because Eastupinian has some concern that he might miss Brentford home match because he is in international duty. So if he is not coming quickly, then he might miss Brentford home match, and after that they have got horrible fixture where Manchester United got easy fixture. So that's why I think Luke Shaw is better than Eastupinian. So if you want to go for a defender this week, I think Luke Shaw is the best option and than Eastupinian. And the 8th one is Mohamed Salah. He has got double game week, but I think he is in the optional category, because one thing about Salah that his fixture is hard. Manchester City away and Chelsea away is hard, but Salah is a player who can score in any match, and in the hard fixture he plays very well, because in those matches he has got counter-attacking opportunity and he plays very well in counter-attack, and that's why he might be an option. But as the fixture is hard, so I think there will be low scoring game, because Chelsea defense looks good and Manchester City always defense typically looks good, so there are not too much point for Salah. But then I think there might be point, because obviously Salah can do anything in those fixture, and game week 30 he has Arsenal home, it's also hard fixture, so that's why he's in the optional category and the number 8 transfer. And number 9 transfer is Isak. The one thing about Isak is that his fixture in game week 29 is not favorable, like Manchester City, Manchester United home and West Ham away are not easy fixture, because Manchester United home looks to be a hard fixture, because I don't think that Newcastle will score in Old Trafford, but West Ham away is easy fixture, so there might be some goal for Isak. But as Almiron is now injured, so I think there will be some creative issue for Newcastle, and also there will be Wilson. But I think in next 2 matches Isak will start and play around 80 minutes, because he is in great form, so I don't think he will be dropped. Now move on to the number 10, and it's Erling Haaland. And if you are buying Erling Haaland, I think it's an optional option, because I think Liverpool match Erling Haaland can score obviously, but he doesn't have any double game week in game week 29, also blank game week in 32, but it's Haaland, so he can obviously score. And this game week I don't put any popular buy in the ignore category, because I think all are good buy or optional buy or essential buy, but not all of them are ignored. That I think Haaland is quite close to ignore, but I don't like to put Haaland in this category because it's too hard, because he can score anything. Now move on to the sell category, and first player you should sell is Almiron, because he is injured, a long time injured, so you should sell him. The second one is Mitrovic, who got red card for his unprofessional behavior in FA Cup, so he is now suspended for 3 or 4 matches, so that's why you should sell Mitrovic, though his fixture looks good. Now on the 3rd and 4th one, and it's Saliba, 3rd one, and as he has got some injury concern and Arsenal has just got 1 fixture, so you can go for a double gaming player to sell Saliba. I think he might not start in Leeds home match, so that's why I think it's an essential sale for game week 29. The fourth one is Son, and as for Son, his goal ratio is 0.70, which is good, but this season Son is not picking up his form like last season, so there is some concern about Son, and he has got single game week in game week 29, so that's why I think you can sell Son, and it's a good sell. Now move on to the fifth and sixth one, and fifth one is Odegaard. And if you look at Odegaard's goal ratio is 0.49. In last five matches, he got 22 points, so it's not good. And I think you should sell some of your Arsenal asset. And I think selling Odegaard now is a good idea because you can obviously move on like Martinelli or Saka because they are better option. But in this game week, you might need to get ignored by Arsenal player because you need to sell some of your Arsenal player. And if you have Odegaard, then I think it's a good sell. The sixth one is Harry Kane, and it's an optional option because Everton away is a good fixture for Harry Kane, and he's in great form. He's scoring goals, so I think he's now second highest scoring player in FPL. So that's why he's in optional category, but he has got single game fixture, and that's why he's in optional category. He's in great form, so that's why. Now move on to the 7th, 8th position, and 7th one is Saka, and I put Saka in the optional category because he has got single game fixture, and Saka is playing very well recently. But if you look at his goal ratio is 0.52, but he scored 3 goals and 2 assists, which means that he's overperforming, and he has a good link up with White. White gives a lot of ball to Saka, and that's a creative one. And he scored goal in last game. He got 18 points, and for whom there the captain Saka got 36 points. It's a nice one for me also because I am captaining Saka in game 28, so that's a nice thing. But I now think that Saka selling is an optional option. You might tempted to go for. I am also thinking of selling Saka, but it might happen or not. The 8th one is Tony, and it's a case that he has got double game, but 2 away match, hard match. Brighton looks good, Manchester United looks good, and Tony has got double game fixture. The other thing about Tony that he got 8 yellow card. If you pick a yellow card in Brighton away match, then he will match Manchester United away match and Newcastle home match. So that's why you might want to sell Tony for other double game week forward. So that's a good idea, and that's why he's in option category as he has got double game week. That's why I don't think you should sell him, but there are other reasons for him to sell. Now move on to the 9th and 10th position, and 9th one is Martinelli. I put Martinelli at first in the ignore category, but now before the recording the video I have made him in the optional category because the reason is Martinelli's underlying data looks good and 0.74, which is good, and that's why I put him in the ignore category. But one thing I'm thinking of Martinelli in long term, he might be rotated, and there is Trossard and Gabriel Jesus is now fit, so he might be rotated, but I don't think he will rotate now because he's in great form, and that's why he's in optional category. If you think in long run that he might be rotated, you can transfer him out, but at present I'm not thinking of it, and that's why he's in optional category, but you might ignore this. The 10th one is Haaland, and if you have Haaland in game 29, you don't need to sell him because it's a home match against Liverpool, and Haaland playing well in home match, so you should hold Haaland for game week 29, and he has got game week 30 has Southampton away. It's a captaincy choice for game week 30, so I don't think it's a nice choice to sell Haaland, and you should ignore this kind of sale. And that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please like this video, and if you are new in this channel, please subscribe this channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. Good luck for your team.